Good evening and welcome to the News First International Desk. Staff at the News of the World have reacted with shock to the news that it will be closed after this Sunday's edition. The 168-year-old tabloid is accused of hacking into phones of crime victims, celebrities and politicians. So far, the police have identified 4,000 possible targets.
The Guardian reports that Andy Coulson, formerly David Cameron's Director of Communications and a former News of the World editor, will be arrested later. It says Coulson will be arrested over suspicions that he knew about or had direct involvement in the hacking of mobile phones during his time as editor. Staff said they were stunned after News International chairman James Murdoch announced that the News of the World would shut down after days of increasingly damaging allegations. The News of the World, which sells about 2.8 million copies a week, is famed for its celebrity scoops and scandals.
Meanwhile, over the Pacific, police say that a man suspected of shooting dead 7 people in the US state of Michigan has killed himself. But 2 hostages he had taken are now reported to be safe. The death of the man named as Roderick Shante Dantzler ended in a dramatic 8-hour manhunt in Grand Rapids.
According to police, those killed, 5 adults and 2 children, include his daughter and a former girlfriend. The hunt began after police found 4 people dead in one home and 3 others in another across the city. There followed a high-speed chase across the city in which Dantzler was pursued by police in cars and helicopters. Dantzler abandoned his car after crashing it into a motorway ditch and then entered a nearby random home, taking hostage 3 people he apparently did not know. He later freed a 53-year-old woman but was still holding 2 people when he shot himself.
Joining us tonight on Sports First is Lahari Jayawardena. Good evening, Lahari.
Good evening, Ramesh.
Lahari, what do you have in store for us on Sports First tonight?
Well, our top story tonight is that Sri Lanka won a medal at the 19th Asian Athletic Championship.
Do you have any news on tomorrow's final ODI between Sri Lanka and England?
Yes, we do have a preview of tomorrow's game and a spot of bad news for cricket fans. All this coming up right now on Sports First. Today was the second day of the 19th Asian Athletics Championships being held in Kobe, Japan. Incidentally, Sri Lanka bagged its first medal at the Games today.
The championship, which began yesterday, is due to conclude on the 10th of this month. Sri Lankan athlete Chaminda Vijayakun represented Sri Lanka in the final of the 1,500 meters event, which was held today. Chaminda clocked a time of 3 minutes 44.01 seconds to claim the bronze medal. Mohammad Al-Azimi of Kuwait claims the gold medal with a time of 3 minutes 42.49 seconds. Sajad Moradi of Iran came in second. Meanwhile, Chandrika Subhashini, who competed in the final of the women's 400 meters event, lost out on a podium position as she came in fourth, clocking a time of 53.35 seconds.
In some cricket news now, the one-day series between Sri Lanka and England is delicately balanced as both teams have won 2 games each. The decisive 5th and final one-day encounter will be played at Old Trafford in Manchester tomorrow. However, we have some bad news for the Sri Lankan fans as paceman Surangal Akmal has suffered a side strain and is not likely to take part in tomorrow's game.
Unfortunately, Surangal Akmal picked up a side strain in the last game, and he's a doubtful starter. If he's unable to play, I think we have backup people in Dhammika Prasad and Tissara Perera.
Tennakun also spoke about the team's morale heading into the crucial final match as well as the game plan for tomorrow.
The mental state is still very good because we know that we are in with a chance of winning the series. So the players are all looking forward to the contest, and I think they are up for a fight. We are going for practice this afternoon. We haven't seen the track and we don't know what it's going to look like. But however, if a green track is presented, players have made some plans to combat that by trying not to play too many strokes at the start of their innings and just to bet on, and I think these plans might be more successful than the previous game.
Up next is the bitter truth.
Last Sunday, the bitter truth brought to the attention of the Sri Lanka Cricket Interim Committee the danger of organising the Sri Lanka Premier League without a local flavour. 5 days after our initial report, a member of the Sri Lanka Cricket Interim Committee announced that the tournament has been postponed to 2012. Although the move should be commended, at a media briefing held today, it was revealed that there are doubts whether political interferences will play a part in the tournament. The minister can directly interfere only when there is an interim committee in place. We know that most of the money which is handled in cricket involves broadcasting rights. When you take a look at this issue, we remember there was a controversy created due to a deal with Nimbus. The broadcasting rights agreements for Sri Lanka's home games, which will be held during the next 4 years, are due to be inked in February 2012. It was also revealed by the Minister of Sports that they do not expect to hold an election for the cricket board before the said month. Former Sri Lankan skipper Hashan Tilakaratne charged that this decision has been reached keeping in mind the broadcasting rights deals for the next 4 years. From 1999 up until now, broadcasting rights have been decided by interim committees. We request Parliament to form a parliamentary group, inclusive of opposition and government parliamentarians, to conduct a feasibility study and award the broadcasting rights to a media institution. If this is done, Sri Lanka will be able to obtain a large amount of money which can be used for the development of the game. However, if this does not happen, we cannot stop the dollars flowing into a person's pocket. Delivering the Cowdrey lecture at Lord's the other day, former captain Kumar Sangakkara stated that since 1996, multinational media institutions had been vying for broadcasting rights in Sri Lanka. He emphasized that Sri Lanka cricket had obtained a large amount of money through this. If this is true, how will the new Sri Lanka Cricket Interim Committee ensure transparency when inking the deals for broadcasting rights for the next 4 years? Sports First is on the lookout. And with that, we wrap up Primetime News for tonight. As always, many thanks for joining us. I'm Ramesh Rugal Bandara.
And I'm Gayatri Ratna. Have a great weekend ahead. Good night.